What's going on, y'all? We're going to start this series outside. I do most of my thinking outside just because it feels natural. You're in a natural space. So, no need to do this one all about music. We're just starting off, so a little bit about my background. I grew up playing music, making music, drumming, in church, in school, high school, then went to college 2 years on a scholarship, drumming in a show choir. So like 16 singers and dancers, 9-10 band members. And we traveled throughout the Southeast, mostly in Florida, some Georgia. But, it was a good introduction to traveling and music. And then I went on to Nashville. 19 years old, I said, hey, I'm a drummer. I should check out Nashville. Moved there this summer. I was 19. Got there, quickly realized, oh my goodness, this town's full of musicians. I mean, I was good. Don't get me wrong. Still am. But I didn't know how to turn it into income. So I looked at going to Belmont. Maybe, trying my hands at the music business. And then I got a lucky break. That lucky break was answering phones for a tour bus company. And I don't mean like Greyhound. I mean like the kind rock and roll artists use. They lease it. They usually never buy one. But they lease it. And so I became a leasing agent inside a tour bus company. I was still 19. And 3 months into that, I started to get anxious about the road. And I was dealing with tour managers, production managers, sometimes an agent, but mainly tour managers and managers about booking the bus, getting them the prices, quotes. And then on tour, you deal with the tour manager, sometimes on a weekly basis. If it's on a daily basis, you've got bus problems, driver problems. But yeah, weekly basis, and you learn logistics really about touring through quoting for buses, because when you tour, you move, you travel, and the first thing you realize is, how are we going to travel? You question it. Van, trailer, bus, planes, cars, all these ways to move around. So I learned the logistics. And in 3 months from doing that office work, I decided, I'm going to get my feet wet on the road. And a chance to tour manage came in the office. It was really kind of, out of the blue. An agent wanted to rent a bus. Their budget couldn't cover the bus, so they moved down to a van and a trailer. Because they were looking at a bus, usually a bus always comes with a driver, so they asked for a driver with the van and a trailer. And I was taking notes, overheard on the conversation, with my current boss at the time, that they were also needing a tour manager. The kicker was that they had to speak Spanish. You can tell I look a little ethnic, but I'm not Spaniard. But in high school and college, I did well in Spanish. I took it 4 years in total, 2 in high school, 2 in college. And so working with a Spanish-speaking band not too far out of college wasn't something I was worried about. I mean, I didn't speak fluently, but I could get myself around whatever we needed to do on the road. So the story goes, the boss hung up, and I said, hey, I can do this. I could drive. I could tour manage. And he's like, what are you talking about? You got to speak Spanish. I'm like, what do they want me to do? So he called the agent back, got on the phone, spoke about 2 minutes of easy conversational Spanish. And really, they were touring in America, so the only Spanish I'd really be speaking is with the band, not with, people we were dealing with on the ground, day of show, stuff like that. So I felt pretty confident in my chances that hey, I could do this. I got the gig. The night before I started, well, here's the fun part. I mean, we were in a van and trailer. I was the driver. I had to go to New York to get the van. It was out on Long Island, somewhere in Massapequa area. And then I think we had a U-Haul trailer. I can't remember. Maybe just a regular trailer. Who knows? There's pictures somewhere, so I got to dig those out. Maybe I'll figure a way to throw them in this video, These people in there. Yeah, I'm not good with this stuff. Anyhow, there's a picture. It's probably a U-Haul trailer. The band was really cool. Susanna Baca and her band. And it was really just awesome for me as a drummer to be working with such a percussive band. They had 2 percussionists, designated percussionists, one on a cajon, one on an extended percussion. And it's funny, after the tour ended, I was actually gifted a cajon built by one of the percussionists. I still have it today. It's made out of some Peruvian wood. It's pretty old school stuff. But the first night that I got in my hotel, I realized, okay, these contracts, they left me a book, right? Half of them were in Spanish. So the night before the first show, I was dusting up on my Spanish by reading these contracts. Got decent understanding of, how musicians get paid. Like, I saw numbers in there in the contract, guarantees, splits, bonuses, verses. If you don't know what these things are, a good way to learn is to start reading in another language. So really that tour was my introduction to the road, working with musicians, mainly not playing drums. I was playing drums from ages 13 to 19 strong, again, high school, colleges, at home, and to actually tour with a band on a managerial side and logistics and chauffeur. I mean, you're learning so much because you're having to field so many different just angles of the industry, logistics and getting paid, and hotels, accommodations, like all this stuff. You don't have to know it. You just have to do it. You just have to get in there and get your hands dirty and learn it as you go along. And really what I was learning, and I look back on that 20 years, what I was learning is how musicians make money, how they survive is by touring. Some can sell records, and that's nice, but basically you got to tour. This is really fun for me to talk about this. Sometimes people are like, you should do podcasts with people, and you know what, I'm super connected, but not everyone shares the way I think. So what good is it if you're talking to people that aren't hip to how you view the music industry? I mean, I got some great friends in music and comedy, and they're my friends, but you can't really talk to them about your experiences in music because it's not their experiences. So, y'all get this sunlight. I mean, seriously, it's only going to help every bit of you. There's bugs out here, beetles. All right, back to the story. We'll wrap this one up. The way I look at it is, if you want to be a musician and make money in music, you should be following, not advice. I hate advice. I hate when people give me advice. You should be listening to people who have an experience in music and the business. They work for a label and they got a college degree. Good on them, but where's their experience that's actually going to help? So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to start creating content from experience, not from what I think works. No theories here. I only now have a theory after many, many years of practice. And that's how it should be. I mean, you should not wait for music theory to explain a melody in your head. Life is always path dependent on doing something and then looking back at it and having ideas about how it's done. Having ideas about things that you've never done is nice, but you're going to harm people if you want to spread that as gospel. So, with that being said, this is Rock and Roll Joel signing off for the first of many. And basically, you can ask questions. You can email me. You can send them to rockandrolljoel@gmail. Nah, screw that. Parasol Music. I don't care. Email me your questions, and we'll talk more. That 3-month tour that I did, the first one, ended with the band asking me to come back and asking me, to do it again. And I think I told them I would, but when they wanted me, I had already taken another tour. I was on the road with another artist. And we'll save that till the next time. Peace, y'all.